Brother lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Tomorrow is a Thursday. We're back in Europe. We're back in the Europa League, and we're playing the second round of our fixture with Bodo Glimt. We're going away from home, so we're going to Norway. We are on the road, and this is my prediction and my predicted lineup as well. So last time I said we should rotate 11 players. This time, going away in Norway, I think we should actually play more starting players than we did in the last lineup. I'm not going to give you my reason why, but of course I'm going to be giving you my prediction. So give me your prediction. Arsenal, Bodo Glimt away from home in the Europa League. If we win this game, by the way, it means we will have won all our games so far in the Europa League, and we will need 1 or 2 more points to qualify through the group. That is how important the game is. But honestly, I'm scared about this one. I looked at how they played at the Emirates Stadium. They're brave. They're so brave. They love to be on the ball. And they're courageous as well. I saw them, passing, working the channels, working our defenders, working our, lines. And I thought, okay, if we go to Norway, it might be quite a different story. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast as well. And in the comment section, do you feel we might not win in Norway? Because that is the picture I got when they came at the Emirates Stadium. Yes, we beat them, but the fixture, the overall performance didn't look like a 3-0. It looked more so like a 1-0, 2-1 performance. Anyway, we're going in Norway, and we're going to see what exactly they are capable of at home. Now, my prediction on this one, I'm still going to back Arsenal. I don't really like things of going against Arsenal in predictions, especially when we are playing such sides. I'm going to say Arsenal will win this one away from home, 2-1. It's going to be a tight one. I think they will score fast, and it will need Mikel Arteta to substitute, to make substitutions, bring on some of the senior players for us to fetch this game. Because when they came at the Emirates Stadium, I saw a very different kind of team. They're like that Arsenal we saw last campaign. Brave. They're in a process. There is something they're trying to build. Probably it is not yet there, but you can see the likes of Pellegrino. You could see the likes of Vetlesen and Saltness trying to create that kind of atmosphere. So I am gonna tip them to score in this game, number 1, and I'll tip them to score fast in the first half. First half, 1-0 in favor of Bodo Glimt. Second half, Arsenal 2-0, and the overall game will go 2-1. So I'm backing Arsenal. I think we're gonna see another goal from Edin Ketia. He always scores against these sides. That's one of the things I love about him. And in the second half, we will see a goal from Gabriel Martinelli. So if he starts, I fancy him to score. And even if he doesn't start, he comes from the bench, I still fancy Gabriel Martinelli to score. So I've gone with a 2-1 victory for Arsenal. The reason, I think they deserve some respect. I think they play well. I think they're a team. They're a team in process. If they can work on that, model for some time, definitely they will win the league again in Norway, and they will cause a lot of problems for teams. I'm tipping them to go through the group as second. Arsenal first, and then Bodo Glimt second. Because for me, PSV are just not serious. They're just not serious. They're dropping points that shouldn't be dropping. So I want Bodo Glimt to go through and Arsenal to go through as well. 2-1 in favor of Arsenal away from home. Now, the starting 11, I'm going to make huge changes. Of course, we have Leeds United over the weekend. We need to continue our winning run. We need to continue our winning spell to stay on top of the table. Manchester City take on Liverpool. That is a very huge chance for us to be comfortable on top of the table. For me, City will not beat Liverpool, and I'll tell you why probably as we do the Leeds preview. But City will not beat Liverpool. I'm telling you that. So in goal, I'm going to go with Matt Turner. In the last game, he wasn't really that tested. I think it was equal to the challenge, a few challenges that were actually thrown his way. I liked the way he dominated his penalty area. I like the way he commanded the team and the players in his penalty area, especially in dead ball situations and corners. I think. Look, I'm not really yet convinced about him. There is something I'm not yet convinced about Matt Turner, but eventually he will come around. Honestly, look, it's a huge jump. He's coming from the US to the Premier League to the UK. The quality of football in Europe vis-a-vis the quality of football in the US, there is a huge jump, and that's why you can see players are retiring. With ultimate disrespect and ultimate truth. the quality of football in Europe is so high compared to the quality of football in the US. So we are giving them the likes of Higuain, we are giving them the likes of Falcao, to go and retire there. So he will need some time, in my opinion. He played well in the last game. Ball distribution was good, and you could see he was no longer panicking. Like he was in the FC Zurich game. I think it's going to come with match day confidence. It's going to come with playing more games, getting involved, being tested more in competitive games as well. But I thought, did we give him an 8 out of 10 in the player ratings? So, yeah, I fancy him. Let him start, and let's see how we can do away from home as the likes of Pellegrino bring more fire to his goal and test him even better. Now, the back four is quite a different one that I've gone for, but bear with me. At right back, I've gone with Cedric Soares. I did also mention him in the last video in the against Bodo Glimt at home, and I said we should be playing him at right back. Mikel didn't actually listen. He played Benjamin White there. He's so stubborn, isn't he? But for me, Cedric should be playing in this game. You need rotation. You cannot afford an injury right now. And I know Mikel Arteta has picked up that kind of confidence. Yeah, we can beat any side now. We have already done our most difficult tasks of the season. That is of the month. Sorry, that is Liverpool and Tottenham. So we can go into every game very strong. But for me, if we pick up a point against Bodo Glimt, I could care less, guys. I could really care less. Yes, the next two games are quite difficult. PSV Eindhoven at home and PSV Eindhoven away. So maybe that shows you why we need to win this game even better. But I think Cedric Soares coming into the team wouldn't actually cost us. So rotate Ben White with Cedric Soares. Let him have some rest. If not, we can play him at centre back and then create more rotation. So Cedric Soares at right back for me. At left back, I thought about Kieran Tierney, but Alexander Zinchenko being injured, we have one spot, and that is Kieran Tierney. Forget about the tactical changes. Tomiyasu playing at left back. It's always going to be Kieran Tierney deputizing Alexander Zinchenko. But we know if Zinchenko is made of glass, Kieran Tierney's bones are more perishable, aren't they? So I cannot risk him in this game. It's a game that I think has a lot of ambition, and we have things to lose. But I think the Leeds United game is even stronger, right, in terms of purpose. So left back, and let's go with Takara Tomiyasu. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's stick with Takara Tomiyasu. Yes, I've not rotated him. He played on Thursday. He played on Sunday against Liverpool, and I'm playing him again on Thursday against Bodo Glimt. He played very well against Salah. I think that versatility is what allows him play on in every position on the pitch. So I'll play him at left back as well. Gabriel Magalhaes needs more game time. This one, I won't rotate Gabriel Magalhaes. So Magalhaes should be playing in this game. We've had a conversation yesterday on the channel, and if you've not watched the video, go and watch it. Arsenal fans actually being divided. Gabriel should be dropped. Gabriel should not start. Gabriel should be sold and all that. But for me, Gabriel Magalhaes just needs game time. I talked about rotation. I talked about being tired. But when I look at him, it is not like he's being tired. I think those are mistakes he needs to run off. Those are mistakes he needs to shake off. And to do that, how about playing him in more comfortable games, in games that boost his confidence, rather than dropping him to the bench, rather than criticizing him. Let us play him in more comfortable games so that he can build his confidence, earn that pedigree, live the experience. I think with Gabriel, the more games he will play, the more appearances he will make, the better he will actually become, right? And one thing we've seen him is one of those center backs that don't care. He can play 50 games in a campaign, and another 50 in another campaign, and another 50 in another campaign. So Gabriel alongside Rob Holding. Yeah, alongside Rob Holding. I've dropped Ben White, and I've dropped William Saliba as well. So Rob Holding has played very well in the last two games in the Europa League. Of course, that is the competition he has to play in right now. Until he says, "Okay, I'm hanging up my boots. I want to go to a team that gives me regular football." Rob Holding should be playing in the FA Cup, Carling Cup, or Carabao Cup, and then the Europa League. He's doing actually very well. Scored a goal last night last Thursday, when we beat Bodo Glimt 3-0. And actually, I think his goal was actually very, very good. It came at a very good time when we wanted to shake up the pressure. It came at a time when Arsenal were in total control of the game. And also it came at a time when we just wanted to cruise. We just wanted a second goal to make sure that the goal has been buried, so that we can focus on the task ahead, which was Liverpool then. So Rob Holding plays alongside Gabriel Magalhaes. At right back, Cedric Soares. At left back, Takehiro Tomiyasu. I can't risk Kieran Tierney. In midfield, Albert Sambi Lokonga, obviously, all day, every day, has to play there. Just like Gabriel Magalhaes, I think Lokonga has to play more games, more minutes to become better. He's not one of those players where I feel he doesn't have a future. He's not good. He's not good enough. No. I think the more he plays, and Mikel Arteta has to find out this as well, whether he's better as a central midfielder or better as a defensive midfielder or holding midfielder. We've played him in holding midfield, and he's not done very, very well. But whenever we play him alongside Thomas Partey, he actually does very well, because he loves to carry the ball into the final third. He loves to have a goal. In the earlier days of his Arsenal career, we could see him have a goal, release the Kraken a couple of times on a couple of occasions. So for me, Lokonga, yes, he's gonna play as a holding midfielder in this game, but in some matches, in some games, in some instances, can we try to use him as a central midfielder? But in this game, honestly, he's got to play. I'm also skeptical about him playing in that position. Remember, in the second half of that game that we played Bodo Glimt at the Emirates, they almost had a 60% ball possession. They took over the midfield. Saltness, Verlesen, and likes of Espejord ran the show in the second half. And if it were not for Gabriel Jesus coming in and creating something positive in our second half, I could easily say our second half was non-existent. There was nothing very, very positive in it. But anyway, Albert Sambi Lokonga, in that holding midfield role, he needs to fight for the ball more. He needs to keep the ball better. He needs to make his passing a little bit precise and quick. And I think he just needs to add some vibe to his game. He's not a bad guy. Granit Xhaka is the undroppable piece in this Arsenal side. So, of course, Xhaka has to play. Played very well against Liverpool. People didn't actually give him the credit because Martinelli and Saka were exceptional. But when I think back on Granit Xhaka in that game, and I look at how many passes he laid into the path of Gabriel Martinelli, how many times he was through on goal, how many times he was joining the attack in the penalty area, how many times he was helping us to create overloads. How has he turned into that guy? How has he turned into a miraculous footballer, fabulous footballer? I am not really sure, but Granit Xhaka should be playing alongside Albert Sambi Lokonga, reliable. If he picks up an injury right now, I don't know. I don't even want to risk him, but who can we play in that position? Charlie Patino is at Blackpool. Probably if he was not at Blackpool, I would have played Charlie Patino there, because again, Patino is another explosive chess Fabregas figure that is coming up. But so Xhaka in midfield, and complete the midfield is the man Fabio Vieira. His best game, his best minutes in an Arsenal shirt have come under Mikel Arteta and Bodo Glimt, and versus Bodo Glimt. In that game, he had more shots on goal than any other Arsenal player. He had more passes forward than any other Arsenal player, more key passes than any other Arsenal player, and he played like a real number 10. Actually, I think that game defined him more than any of the other games that he has actually played. It drew a mark. It distinguished him between him and Martin Odegaard. All this kind of crap talk we've been talking about. Oh, him and Odegaard are so similar. Him and Odegaard are this and that. They're not similar. They're not very, very similar. Yes, they're number 10s. They love to feed strikers and players making through runs. But Fabio Vieira is more goal-minded. Bruno Fernandes kind of guy. He wants to score 20 goals in a campaign. Doesn't care how he scores the goals, but he wants to score. And you can see him, he gets into those dangerous areas more than Martin Odegaard. He wants to take a shot more than Martin Odegaard. He's hungrier than Martin Odegaard. I think the difference between them is Odegaard is a game control, of course, but Odegaard has done this for some time. So he easily picks up that fabulous pass. For example, against Liverpool, you could see that pass to Martinelli. Fabulous. Against Bodo Glimt again in the second half, Odegaard sliding that ball through to Edin Ketia again. For me, he just does that with ease. He's 23, so he's done it for longer. Fabio Vieira on the other side is 21. Arsenal is his biggest club. Is his biggest club. The biggest club he's played for. Of course, Odegaard has been at Madrid, which is bigger than Arsenal at the moment. So you've got to think about it. But Fabio Vieira in that number 10, if he can put in the same performance, just make sure that your shots are on target. Because for me, could have easily scored a hat-trick. Scored in the second half. There was that chance he brought the ball down on his chest and then skied it, right? And then there was that one on the edge of the penalty area where he doesn't hit the target. He just does. If he puts it on the target, he would have scored. So he just needs to... I think the confidence is also coming, right? You could see the confidence also coming in Fabio Vieira. Now, the front three, I thought about a couple of options here. Rotate, do not rotate, right? But the easy one is Edin Ketia. So let us start with Edin Ketia. Edin Ketia needs to be more clinical. This is me. I'm not a big fan of Edin Ketia. You guys know that, don't you? I'm not a very, very big fan. I feel Arsenal could have done a better job with another guy. Probably, I don't know. But I thought would have, outsourced in the market. But Nketiah staying around, he's done a great job, by the way, so far in terms of changing games, especially in the Premier League when he was brought on, in terms of coming and living up to the expectation in the Europa League. So he's already scored 2 goals this campaign. He's got a very, very, very good reaction goal against Bodo Glimt and scored a very beautiful one as well against FC Zurich. He leads the line very well. He presses very well. He's relentless as well. And he's another player that I feel is typical of Mikel Arteta's system. So Edin Ketia is a no-brainer. On the left, I thought Martinelli should start. But haven't we failed to rotate him more? Haven't we actually failed to rotate him? I don't know. I mean, he's one that is not... Injuries are his thing. When injuries actually catch up with him, we will be in a very bad situation. How about play Reece Nelson on the left for now? So Reece Nelson on the left. Let's see what he can do, right? Let's see what he can do. Like I said, if we can pick up 3 points, good enough. If Arsenal pick up a point, nothing to be pressurized about because you have FC Zurich coming at the Emirates Stadium. You have PSV Eindhoven coming at the Emirates Stadium. Those are 6 points you can easily pick up at the Emirates Stadium, and they will still guarantee that you go out of the group as table leaders. So Reece Nelson on the left. Mikel has already said he's come back, and they're convinced about him, and all that kind of and all that kind of talk. So let's wait and see what he can provide. Reece Nelson, rest Martinelli on the right. Marquinhos or Saka? I will go with Saka over Marquinhos. Now, what Mikel has always done is he has always played 3 quality players or 3 members of the starting 11 of the Premier League, and then mixed up with these other players. So it has always been Gabriel, Xhaka, and Martinelli. That has always been the pattern. In this game, I would go Gabriel, Xhaka, and then Saka. I think Saka is less injury prone, first and foremost, as compared to Gabriel. So I'll play him knowing that the chances of him picking up an injury and then staying out for long are fewer. And then also, I'm thinking here, that would allow us to rotate Martinelli and bring him on the second half. Saka is actually having a very good run, and Saka is a little bit more direct than Martinelli. Martinelli is good. He runs, he has all this flair, but Saka is a direct player. And if you look at all the balls he receives, he's either doing those, mojos, right? And after that, he will come directly into the penalty area. And we might need that kind of directness in this game just to kill it off, right? Be direct, be a threat to them, score 1 or 2 goals in the first half, and then in the second half, score 1 or 2 as well, and then you can bury the game off. So, in my opinion, Saka on the right, Reece Nelson on the left, down through the middle is Edin Ketia. Odegaard should come off the bench. Partey should come off the bench as well for fitness as well. I think with Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus, of course. I mean, for me, these kind of games, you don't even need Gabriel Jesus, but he can come off the bench just to make sure that he's participating into in the competition. So that is my starting 11. I'm not changing my prediction. It is a 2-1 in favor of Arsenal. They will score, but we will score more. I'll speak to you right in the next one as we dive into how to beat them at home. I think it's going to be a very different video from what we did as they were coming at the Emirates Stadium. So how do we approach them at home? They'll be more confident, they'll be braver, and they will know the patterns of their stadium. So how do we beat them? The preview, and also, of course, the big team news by Mikel Arteta. See you soon.